Hi guys, I am back with another tutorial. So I'm going to do this tutorial because it has actually been requested and I get so many questions on a day-to-day basis on how I do my brows. So the only thing that I have on today is a little primer, a little foundation, some gloss, light contour, and a couple of pimples. You know, they had to tag the hell along. So let's just go ahead and jump into this super quick, super easy tutorial. So the first thing you're gonna need, of course, is some type of brow pomade or a brow gel or a brow pencil, whatever you use to fill in your brows. I'm using Eylure brow pomade in number 10. Then next you're gonna need, I like to use the double-ended brow brush and spoolie. So I have those two. And then you're gonna need some type of brow brush, which is gonna be used to conceal your brows. So I have this one. Everything that I have here is kind of super inexpensive. And I have some, you know, concealer by LA Pro Concealer. By LA Girl. It's a Pro Concealer. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is dip into the product, and I like to take about that much of the product out, and then I also like to put the product on the back of my hand. First, you want to make sure that your brows are brushed upward in the direction that they naturally go in. If my hair cooperate and the pimples on my face cooperate, I think I'll be good today. Anyway, so we're gonna take the product, you're gonna turn your brush this way, that way, and then you're gonna kind of dip it in. So you see how I can make lines. So you want it, but you want to make it flat, okay? So now that my brows are brushed up into the direction that they normally go in, I'm gonna take my brush, kind of hold it as such, at like an angle, and I might have to use, that's my bag of snacks I was eating. I have to use this little brush, this little mirror. So I'm gonna take it and lightly trace out my brows. And when I say lightly, I don't mean push down into the skin. I mean very lightly. Just following the natural. And if I want an extended brow, I will bring it out a little bit more. Now I'm gonna push my brows down, because when you leave them up, you tend to want to go into the direction that they are, like you want to draw the other line on top of that line, and that's not what you want to do, because when you do that, you actually make your brows appear wider than they are. If you look at one of my old YouTube videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. So now we're going to go here, angle the brush just a little, and we're going to go right like in the brows, but on top of the brows, if that makes sense, because they're brushed down. You're gonna kind of turn the brush and kind of meet for, trying to make sure I get that line right. We're gonna meet for the tail, okay? So if you want a more sharper arch, you could do that. I'll probably do that on the other side just so that you can see how to obtain that. And now you're gonna push your brows inside the lines. You just drew a stencil, put your brows inside of the line. And as you notice, I did not do from here forward, I did from here backwards. So I'm gonna dip more into the product, my brush, and I'm gonna use this to fill in the tail part, darken that in, and the front part. And again, my brush is angled. I'm taking a little bit of that product off of my brush. My brush is still kind of angled. It's not full on here. It's not full on like going to my brow like this. It's kind of going at an angle. I'm holding it at an angle so that the angle on the brush is angled. So now I'm kind of lining it a little bit more. Now I'm going to use the spoolie to actually pull the product from both directions and give me the fade gradient effect that I want. So if I feel like, let me see, kind of feel like it's a little too light and I feel like I kind of took away my line a little bit, pull these brows up to Jesus and back over to the side. And there you have it. Now another thing I want to tell you ladies is that your brows are sisters, they are not twins, and most of the time my brows act like they distant cousins. They act like they're in the same blood family, but really they can't be, and sometimes they don't even look alike. I don't know why. I'm doing the same technique, so I just have to, I do better at, this is my favorite brow, this is my least favorite brow, I don't know why, but on this brow, I'm gonna show you how to get a higher arch. So if this is like the natural way that you want it to go, that's okay guys. So I decided to do a voiceover just so that I can speed the video up a little bit. So basically what I'm doing, the technique is exactly the same. The only thing that you would have to do is when you get to the top part of the brow, to make the arch sharper or higher, it's going to be all in the way that you angle your brush and how you bring your brow up to a point and back down to connect with the tail. That's it. If you want the brow more rounder, you would just kind of go rounder. You wouldn't go up so much in a point like when I'm doing here. I'm like lightly stroking, and then I would just actually go to a point and then come back down. If I wanted a more higher point, I would take the line, that line right there, and I will go up even higher and bring it back down. Just remember that you also want to connect with the tail, and you can also determine how thick or thin you want your tail to be. If you want it to be a little thicker, you will go up and come out a little bit to meet the tail further along at the end, not closer to the beginning of the tail at the top, like right past the arch. It's kind of where I get it. But if you wanted it wider, you would go down further and you would have it meet at the end of the tail. But you can also do any cleanups if you feel like that is not the eyebrow shape or that you want. What you just use is your concealer. You just use concealer to clean up anything. Now at this point you can also stop here, or you could also do the concealer to clean up. I like to use 2 shades lighter on my concealer to clean up. But if I had to use concealer to clean up on the top, I would actually use the exact same shade as my skin tone. But that is your preference, however you want to clean up your brows, and you're basically done. Right now, I'm gonna leave it alone. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take a little bit of my LA Girl concealer, and that's probably a little bit too much anyway. Now you could do this. This is the shade Fawn. I also use Toffee, and so I also use dark cocoa, but you know they have a variety. So I'm using this shade. Of course, this is lighter than mine. My actual shade. I don't so much want to put the product on the top of the brush as I do on, like, I don't want to really do this. I kind of want to just do it and let what happens happen. Now, my first rule of doing this particular step would be to ensure that you are not putting this right up against your eyebrow the first go around, because it's a lot of product on the brush and you don't want that to bleed into your eyebrow. So here I'm gonna get a little closer. Don't talk about all the extra visitors that I have, okay? Okay, so you want to kind of go here, make sure you're good with the product, and you just, hold on, let me get a little bit more, and you just want to start getting closer, and you're there. You see, I just gradually build that up. Now you just want to follow the arch that you've created. And yeah, and it does take the head tilting. Okay, now you want to drag all of that color downward. All of that product downward. Now you can use your finger. I like to use a brush, but it is solely, see, I just took that tail off. I thought I didn't, I wanted it to be a little shorter. I'm just, like, I don't know, my brows look different every day. It takes practice to learn how to do this without like overdoing it and without making yourself look crazy. So yeah. So I'm gonna do that, and then I actually have a little bitty brush here. It's been through the ringer, but I use this to blend with, and I kind of like to push my eyebrows up and kind of get in there, and then use this to blend the product out. Sometimes I use my finger, but to really like get up in there, just in case I don't have any, I don't want any excess. And if you feel like at any time something isn't right, like I feel like it's not right there, go back and pull that up. And then I kind of feel like it's a little wide, but I'm gonna drag it down. Oh my God, like. And if you want more of a tail, then you want to pull the tail back out if you like. And then right here at the front, just to get rid of that. So if this is right for you, you are done. Some people conceal on the top. If you do, that is up to you. I only do that when I really make a really big mistake and I'm running low on time. I gotta hurry and get to work. And I only do that when I really want to clean that up. But at the same time, I kind of use my same skin tone on top. So that's where I would probably use the dark cocoa or whatever, just so that it could really blend. Blend. Okay. So for this side, this is, I'm still looking over there. Okay, so this is the eyebrow tutorial. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Super easy. I want you guys to take your time when you're doing your brows. It's no rush. It's no hurry. It's not a competition. You do your brows how you want. I use number 10. Of course, like some people could say that's a little harsh for my brows. I could go down a couple of numbers. I actually feel like this color actually matches the hairs in my brows, but that's just me, you know? Makeup is your personal preference. Makeup is what makes you feel extra when you want to be extra. And hell, I'm extra all the time, and I love being extra. So do what you feel. Practice, play. I really hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to leave me comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell that's right there so that you can be notified when I record videos. And I will be trying to do at least 2 to 3 videos a week. And I have a special surprise coming up later this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you much. Mwah.